everyone, welcome to this 40-minute flow class. My name is Julie Schoen and I'm a teacher at yogineology.com. So this class is like a really awesome flow, chill workout class. So we're going to start out really slow and really warm up the hips and the quads and the hamstrings, and then we're going to flow and do a fairly vigorous standing sequence, and then we will work our way into some pretty deep stretches like pigeon and maybe even the splits or Hanumanasana. So we'll kind of play with all of that. It will be a really nice way to release stress or any kind of emotions you just want to get rid of. So that's why I'm calling this like a therapy session for yoga. So if you need a strap, grab it, or a block. I'll be using both of those today. So if you have them handy, grab them. If not, maybe just grab like a pillow or a blanket or something nearby because you may want them, or like a sweatshirt if you don't have a strap. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. We're going to start in Ardha Supta Virasana, or half reclining hero pose. So for a lot of people, being on a block or a pillow can be really helpful. You're going to take your right heel and you're going to hug it into your right hip, and then you can extend the left foot out, or just so the knees bent and released. And then you're going to start to recline back until you feel it stretching your quad, or until your body says no more. So go back as far as you need to today. Go slow. This is kind of it's a nice way to start class, but if you haven't done anything much today, it can be fairly intense. So just move slowly. And because this is a still posture, we're going to be holding it statically for a little bit. You can just go ahead and close your eyes. Focus on your breath. Begin to just find yourself present on the mat. Let yourself, as your quads release, just release all of this stuff, all the shit you don't need anymore. Just let it all go. Each exhale, feel yourself becoming more and more present. And each inhale, feel yourself getting more and more filled with the good stuff, right? The positive things. We'll just spend about another minute or so here. And then take about 5 more breaths here. If you know that this side is particularly tight for you, you're welcome to stay a little longer on this side. If you happen to recline all the way down, when you're ready, just prop yourself up on the elbows, slowly come up, release the leg, and then switch on over to the other side when you're ready. Again, moving slow. This side hasn't done anything yet, and you want to make sure that when you do switch, you are mindful of keeping the heel, again, really hugging close into the hip. You don't want to even be able to slide a credit card, and then the knee should all the way be down, released on the mat. And if it's not, that might be a sign. Grab a block, grab a pillow, do something to prop yourself up. When you start to feel sensation, that's a good indicator that you should pause there. Don't be in any rush to go anywhere, because there's really nowhere to go. It's always nice just to remember This is your practice. It's not mine. It's not anyone else anywhere in the world's practice. So do what feels good, do what feels right, and really listen to whatever your body is saying, to whatever your mind is saying. And every day is different. So we'll spend about 2 minutes here on this side. Just about what we did on the other side. And if you haven't already closed your eyes, close them again. It's a really nice time to place your hands on your belly and just try to breathe into the belly here. And you can feel the breath inflating the belly. And then the belly collapsing as you exhale. Just try to release yourself into this pose as much as you can. For me, one of the best ways to think about this is trying to get more of my back body to get in contact with the ground. So it's really like I'm just kind of letting go and letting the mat beneath me support. So I can feel at times when I'm tense, like my chest lifting. So I try to release the back of my heart down, the low back. Just trying to feel like everything is just melting here. We'll take about 5 more breaths. And if you have released all the way down onto your back like I am, then you can go ahead and just slip the left leg out. If not, release the left leg and then come to lie down on your back. We're just going to move into happy baby here for a moment. So go ahead and grab onto the outer edges of the feet. Let the elbows come inside the legs, knees outside the arms. And just start to feel the hips open a little more, maybe getting deeper into the groin or the hamstrings. This is again just another nice pose for releasing, of just being like, I don't really give a shit about what happened the rest of today or even what's going to happen. I am here, I am present, and I am hanging out in my happy baby pose. Okay, take a couple more deep breaths here. And then when you're ready, go ahead and hug the knees into the chest and begin to rock up and down on your spine. So this is therapeutic for the spine, but it's also a really nice way to heat the body or to warm it up. So do this a few times. And then if I really am feeling energetic or playful or would like to feel more energetic, you can play with hopping yourself up to stand and then dropping back down and doing this, maybe even jump and down, is a really fast way to heat the body and to get some energy moving. So if you're needing that energetic release today, mess around with this a few times. And then we'll all come to meet standing at the top of the mat. Finding Tadasana, mountain pose. Hands released by your sides. Close your eyes. Ground down through your feet. Feel the legs energized, like you're pulling energy up through the soles of your feet. Feel your spine naturally align. Feel the shoulders release away from the ears. Take a few more breaths here, standing in Tadasana. And then with an inhale, start to spread the fingers wide, reach the hands up, bring them together in prayer, and on the exhale, fold forward. Allowing the chin to come in towards the chest. You could bring a block under your hands here. If you need, or just grab opposite elbows. So make sure the legs are engaged. We have the tendency to just kind of like lock the knees out, and there's no muscle engagement in the legs in this pose. So really try to feel the quads engaging as you rock your weight forward slightly into the balls of the feet. Chin releases into the chest, navel pulls in slightly towards the spine. I want you to bend your knees, bring the weight way back in the heels. Inhale, bring yourself up into chair pose. Release the shoulders down the back. Turn your pinkies in slightly. And then with an exhale, step the left foot to the back of the mat, coming right into high lunge. Inhale, arms come up, palms touch. Exhale, hands in prayer position, bringing the left elbow outside of the right thigh. Push the hands together towards your heart. As the navel pulls in, we're not trying to turn from the low back. We're keeping the hips stable, and we're just turning and rotating from the ribs and the chest. Exhale, hands down to the top of the mat. Bring all the weight onto the right foot. Lift the left leg up. We're going to keep the right knee bent and see if we can come into Digasana or a variation on Virabhadrasana 3. Go ahead and flex your left foot. Reach through the crown of the head. Maybe shoot the arms forward. Inhale. Press yourself up to stand. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, hinge from the hips. Pour the heart forward. Chin in towards the chest. Engage the legs. Weight back into the heels. Inhale, come up, Utkatasana. Chair pose. Strong arms, belly in. Maybe lift all 10 toes up off the mat. Then lift the right heel up and then step it back. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, hands to heart, twist. Keep the belly pulling in towards the spine. Hands at heart center. Exhale, hands down either side of the front foot. Keep the left knee bent as you lift the right leg up. Maybe one hand comes up off the floor, maybe the other. Flex the right foot. Steady gaze. Maybe arms reach forward. And then inhale, push yourself up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, bend the knees. Bring the hands to heart center. Come into the twist on the right side. So left elbow hooks outer edge of the right thigh. Trying to get your thumbs to your heart center. Knees stay together. Maybe arms open up. If your left fingertips are touching the ground, go ahead and look down and try to step the left foot back. Coming into high lunge, twisted. Take the right hand behind you. Reach for your left hip point. Rotate the right shoulder back and lift the heart up. Exhale, take the right hand down, drop the left heel down. Inhale, come up, warrior two. Exhale, settle in, tracking the right knee right over the ankle and pushing through the outer edge of the left foot. Maybe sit a little deeper. Inhale, straighten the right leg, heel toe the back foot in, prepping for triangle pose, Trikonasana. So you want to reach forward. It's okay to let the butt stick out a little bit. We really want to open the hamstring here. And then bring the right hand down to a shin or to a block. Left arm reaches up. So focus on rotating the left ribs back. and feeling this entire left side body unravel as you get a stretch through the front leg. And then if you want to exaggerate that side body stretch, reach the left arm forward. Inhale, bring yourself up. Exhale, warrior two. Hands down to either side of the front foot. Swing the right leg back into three-leg down dog. Go onto the outer edge of the left foot. Keep the right leg lifted. And see if you can work into Shavasana with that right leg lifted. If you need to drop it down, go ahead. Exhale. Hand down, foot down. Plank pose, look forward. Take a big breath in. Exhale, bend your elbows just like a micro-centimeter. Tiny bend. Then bend them a little bit more. One more little bend, hold. And then push yourself back up. Bend your knees. Crouching cat pose. Transitioning to downward facing dog pose. And then slowly start to walk your feet forward, enjoying a nice big stretch in the hamstrings as you make your way to the top of the mat. Inhale, heart reaches forward. Exhale, fold in, chin in towards the chest. Bend your knees, weight back in the heels. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, hands to heart. Take the right elbow outside of the left thigh. Bring your thumbs towards the heart center as you turn your left ribs up and back. Maybe open the hands up. If the right fingertips are touching the ground, go ahead and look down and see if you can't step the right foot back into a revolved high lunge. Yep. Exhale, both hands down to the ground. Drop the right heel down. Inhale, come up, warrior two. So the arms are just as engaged as the legs are. And bringing the backs of the arms up towards the bone. Finding strength in my left leg, but I'm not just dumping the weight in this quad. I'm equally engaging this back leg and pushing through the outer edge of my back foot. Keeping all of that engagement, start to straighten the left leg and then heel toe the back foot in just a little bit. I like a narrower stance. For triangle, I think it's helpful for a lot of people. You're going to reach forward. Don't think that you have to keep the hips in line though. Let the butt be free. Reach forward as much as you can or want to. Left hand comes down, right hand comes up. What are you feeling in the left leg? Can you play with the rotation of your chest to maybe find more, or to push the hips forward, or let the hip butt come back? Just kind of play around until you find what feels like a really nice opening stretch. And then to exaggerate the opening of the right side body, if you'd like to reach the right arm over the ear, you can. Inhale, bring yourself up. Exhale, returning to warrior two. Take the hands down either side of the front foot. Swing the left leg back. Three-leg down dog. Come on to the outer edge of the right foot. You can walk the right hand in a little bit. Try to keep the left leg lifted as you bring yourself up into a variation of side plank. Exhale, left hand down, left foot down. Look forward, plank pose. Exhale, bend the arms just a little bit. Keeping the elbows in by your ribs. Bend them a little more. We want to get that shake going. Bend them a little more. Push back up one more time. Exhale, bend them a little more. Bend them a little more. Bend them a little more. Push back up. Downward facing dog. Take a few nice big breaths. If you need to exhale out through the mouth, just to release anything, you can. Inhale, look between your hands. Let's step the right foot outside of the right hand. So here a block could be handy for placing under your hands if it feels like the ground is just a little too far away. You're welcome to drop the back left knee down. It's again just personal preference, what feels like you're getting the deepest stretch most comfortably. So this is lizard pose. If you'd like to come down onto your forearms, if that's available to you, you can, or you could do forearms on a block. We're really just trying to, again, release nice and deep into the hips. So when you go too far into a pose, and this is one of those poses that it's easy to kind of get yourself stuck in a pose, but then you think, well, I'm here, so I'm just going to stay. So the thing I always ask myself is, has the pose become rigid? If it feels like there's no movement possible, like you couldn't move your hips, or you couldn't move your chest up and down, then you've probably come too far, and it'd be better to come back up onto your hands, and then see if you can find that little bit of movement. So we always want to maintain, even if we're in a static pose, it should feel like there's still the ability of fluidity in the posture. You can release the chin in towards the chest. Sometimes it's nice to grab the block if you're down low enough and place it under your head just to release the tension in the neck. That can build up sometimes. If you'd like to add a little bit of a quad stretch here, or a little bit more of a twist, you can reach back with the right hand, grab onto the left foot. No, yeah, that's my left foot. Maybe. Lean into it and turn the chest up. That's just going to help open the quad, and now we're getting into the left hip flexor a little more too. So your call. And you could for sure do this on the forearm still, if you can maintain that fluidity and you don't start like shaking and getting angry. Then this isn't a therapy session. You'll need a therapy session after, so try to avoid that. Exhale, release the back foot if you grabbed it. Come back up to your hands if you were down on your forearms. Walk the right foot into the center line of the body, and then push the hips back so the right leg straightens. Flex the toes back towards the face. Move the heart forward. We want to get a nice big stretch for the hamstring. So we're going to play here just because we can in a little bit with splits, monkey pose. So this is a nice prep for it. Because we can. Because why not? Because Hanuman says, do it. Do it. When you're ready to leave this pose, right toes down on the ground, plant the hands, swing the right leg back, maybe open up into a little hip opener, setting the foot down. When you're ready, inhale forward to plank. So I like these little baby, tiny chaturangas, because I feel like, man, do they make me work a lot more than the way that I've been doing chaturanga lately. So don't let the butt collapse. Keep the butt in line. Keep it in line. And then start to bend the elbows just a little bit. And hold, and then can you bend a little more? But we want to be able to push ourselves back up. So don't go so far, and then come back up. Maybe one more. Back up and back to down dog. Left foot steps outside the left hand. Setting up for a lizard pose. Again, both sides are different, so just approach it completely new. If you need a prop, grab it. If you need to make any other adjustments, knee down is cool, it feels good. Forearms, whatever. Just know what we're trying to do here. Open up the left hip, and you'll probably feel something maybe even into like the upper hamstring or groin area. And then you can also get a really nice stretch for the right hip flexor, which is huge for working our way into Hanumanasana in a few moments. So we'll just hang here for about a minute. And then there'll be the option of grabbing the back foot if you want to. If not, you'll just spend about 2 minutes here. And can the breath move through you? Are you still fluid enough that your body isn't like gripping to the point that everything is just getting more stuck? If you'd like to play with the foot, it's easier to grab it up on your hands. So if you're attempting to find the back foot, I'd suggest coming up to your hand first. And this is where the strap could definitely come in handy if you have something available to you, whether a strap or a shirt or whatever, that you could try to kind of hook back there and around. And then rather than keeping my chest square with the mat, I really like to let my left shoulder roll open. I allow the hips to push forward as I pull the back heel in. Maybe I find space to come down onto the forearm. And release when you're ready. Bringing yourself back up to the hands if you need to. Heel toeing the left foot towards the center line of the body and then pulling back for our half splits. Heart's lifting up. Think up first. Hinge from the hips and then try to fold. So your belly should touch your left thigh before anything else comes even close to touching the left leg. When we're trying to open the hamstring, right? There's other ways to do this pose, but we're trying to get into the hamstring. Rock your weight forward. Swing the left leg back. 3-leg down dog. Maybe add a little hip opener if that's your jam right now. And then all the way back into downward facing dog. I want you to take your feet the width of the mat and start to walk the hands back. Just coming into a little variation of Prasarita here at the back of the mat. Squeeze the inner ankles towards each other. Lift the kneecaps up. Spiral the inner thighs back. And then from all of that, see if you can't hinge from the hips a little more. And we haven't done much with the shoulders today, so if you'd like to stretch those out, interlace the hands behind the back. And get a nice little shoulder opening here. Go ahead and release the hands. Keep the legs where they are, the feet where they are. Maybe turn the toes out slightly and then bend your knees and bring the weight back into the heels, coming into Malasana. Elbows in front of your shins, hands at heart center. If your heels are up off the ground, that's fine. You could try walking your feet a little further apart. If they're easily on the ground, you could try walking your feet a little closer together. Or if you're just cool where you are, just stay where you are, which is what I'm doing today. From here, I want you to start lifting the butt up halfway and then reach the arms forward. So legs are starting to work here. And I like to think on a daily basis, what would Beyonce do here? She'd probably bounce. I don't know. I'd like to say Beyonce's my good friend, but she's yet to accept my friend request. One day. One day. And then straighten the legs. Fold one more time. And then keeping the weight way back in the heels, start to walk the hands forward, back into downward facing dog. All right, so I have a very mixed relationship with Hanumanasana. I love it because it challenges me, but I hate it because it's really hard for me. So I'm going to show you how I practice Hanumanasana, which is like kind of like a prep to it. And I've been working on that, and I've been getting a lot of good things to come from it. If you are like splits is your thing and you love it, then instead of taking your leg wide like I'm going to show you, just send it straight through the hands like you know to do, and then rock out your splits however you want to. Okay, so back in downward facing dog. I want you to step your right foot outside the hand just like we did before in lizard pose, and then set the left knee down. Walk the hands in a little bit, and then I want you to start taking your right foot out to, like, if this was a clock, it's like between 2 and 3. And you're going to start to kind of just inch your foot forward, let the heel slide, and you're going to start to slide down. So the further out, like to the side your leg is, the easier this pose can be. If you find yourself leaning forward a ton, grab your block and place it under your hand so the weight can go more directly down. And so even though the legs are going in 2 totally separate directions and it looks like it's a very expansive pose, what's happening in the hips is actually a pulling in. So even though my right leg is sliding out, feel like you're pulling the right femur bone back into the right hip socket, and that the left knee is kind of hugging forward. And then from that, can you sit down a little more? And I'm keeping, as you can see, my back left toes tucked because you can use them to help you with that engagement of the legs to get a little deeper. If you're completely in Hanumanasana, like hips down, then you could release the back foot. Breathe. Release the jaw. And again, is the pose like crazy rigid? Like, are you like shaking and every muscle is just like gripping? Because if it is, then pull yourself up and out just a little bit. Even just a little bit can make a big difference. And then you'll naturally get into it in a place that isn't like coming from force. I've hurt myself in this pose a couple times pretty seriously because I was just like, I'm gonna do it. And it wasn't appropriate, and it resulted in some bad things for me. So don't do that. When you're ready to release, slowly pull it away again. And then I just like to sit back and like contemplate because that seems pretty giant for me. You could do child's pose, but I think it's better just to stay sitting up if you can. And just take a moment. And then I always, it's like the old athlete in me, I always like to visualize what's going to happen on the next side. So it's like I can totally see myself in splits. But just because you can see it doesn't mean you're ready for it. But just know that like you can see it. It's in you, even if it's not expressing itself physically today. So back into downward facing dog. Take a few moments if you need to, like, it's big so shaking the hips or kind of walking it out can help to make things feel a little more in balance here. And then when you're ready, left foot steps outside the left hand. Drop the right knee down. I'm going to have to scooch over my pretty pillow that's in the way. Drop the right knee down and then walk the hands back, pull the hips back, release the left toes up and start to slide the left foot out to the side. So again, a block could be handy under your arms, just if you're feeling yourself getting pitched forward. And then begin to feel like left heel's pulling back, femurs pulling into the hip socket, right knee and right legs kind of pushing forward, and then from that, can you release a little deeper? Big breaths. Maybe 2 more breaths, 3 more breaths. See where you're at. If you're feeling really good and want to stay here a little longer, you can. If you're ready to exit now, do it. It's not like you get a gold medal for staying in it longer or anything. It's just like, does it feel good? And if it does, awesome. If it doesn't, leave. Come back to that contemplative seat. And it's just a nice way to let the body like, Okay, that just happened. How are we? How are things doing? Take a few deep breaths. When you're ready, swing the legs around. Coming to lie down on our mats. We'll just do a simple little twist before Shavasana, since we just have 40 minutes today. If you have more time, maybe do a couple extra twists or some extra things on your back here. But we'll just do a nice easy twist. So go ahead and draw the heels in towards your butt. And then just push into the feet slightly and pick the hips up a little bit. And then like a little hammock, just swing them over to the left. And then set everything down and drop the knees to the right. So right hand can go on top of the left legs. You can give yourself just like a little self-adjustment here, just adding some weight on top of the left leg. The left hand, you could open it out to the side. I've been playing more with bringing it in kind of like a cactus arm, or just bending the elbow and letting the hand come up over my head. It's more comfortable for me, but play with what works for you. Close your eyes. Come back to the breath. And again, like I talked about earlier when we were starting class lying down, there's a sense of just letting go that can take place when you're lying on the mat. So rather than feeling like you need to support your body here, just feel if you can let go completely and start to feel the mat and the earth beneath you supporting more surface area of your body. When you're ready, legs back up through center, both hands down, walk the heels in, pick the hips up just a little bit. This time they swing over to the right. Drop your left hip down, stack the right knee on top of the left. Place the hand on the thigh for a little self-adjustment. Right arm can come up, look over the right shoulder, and just chill out here. See if you can release any muscles in the face. Relax the jaw and the area around the eyes. And even if you feel like you're losing, I'm doing air quotes, your eyes are closed though. If you feel like you're losing the alignment, but you're letting go, go with the letting go over the alignment. Letting go, in my book, always trumps alignment, especially when you're lying on the floor. So if the right knee isn't directly on top of the left anymore, that's fine. Or if the left hand kind of gives up on the pushing and you're just chilling, that's good. I take that as a win. And then when you're ready, coming back through center, letting the legs go straight, hands by your sides, palms face up. Tuck the shoulders one at a time under you. Maybe wave the feet back and forth. Jiggle the hips. Do whatever you need to do here to feel like the body can completely relax and let go. Here in our final corpse pose, Shavasana. Let your mind come back to the thought of your breath. Almost to the point, at least for these first few moments, that the mind is obsessed with the breath. Noticing every detail, the pace of the breath, the rhythm, the depth, the sound, the feel. Think of your brain as like seeing something wild for the first time. Something super cool. The brain is like perched on the edge of its seat watching your breath. And then, when the brain notices, that the breath is just doing its thing and it's not going to engage the mind can kind of like sit back in its camper chair and open a beer and just hang out. So if you have more than 40 minutes and you're able to stay even just a couple more minutes in Shavasana, just like ignore me. Just stay in your camper chair, enjoy your beer. If you have somewhere to go, you can start to move your fingers, move your toes, bring some movement into the body. Stretch how you would first thing, waking up. Make your way over to your side, and then in whatever manner suits you today, you will begin to bring yourself up into a comfortable seat. And we'll just end class here, cross-legged for those of you that are moving out of Shavasana with me. Sit for just a moment, eyes closed, mind heavy. Let your shoulders release down from the ears. Feel like everything at first is just melting down, heavy. And then as the lower half of your body really starts to sink in, then start to feel the rebound effect of that with some freedom and some space coming up through the spine and out through the crown of the head. Go ahead and bring your hands together at heart center. We'll end class here with one Om. You can join me or just listen if you'd like. Take a big breath in. Namaste. I hope you have a super awesome day. I hope your therapy session was worth the 40 minutes that you paid, and I hope to see you around on Yoginiology more. Come check it out. We've got so much free stuff going on over there and some great content and people that you should meet. So I look forward to seeing you. Bye.